Today's very heartbreaking and heartbroken-like update. Because recently Amy's wrong driving big car accident. Chris Marek hospitalized. Amy's condition situation. I will explain everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because today we have some truly shocking and concerning news to share about Little People, Big World star Amy Roloff and her husband Chris Marek. The couple has recently been involved in a serious car accident that left fans shaken and worried for their well-being. Reports have now confirmed that Amy was hospitalized following the crash, and supporters from around the world are flooding social media with prayers and heartfelt messages for her recovery. The incident happened suddenly and without warning. Amy and Chris, who have become one of the most beloved couples in the Roloff family story, were traveling together when their car was involved in what has been described as a significant collision. Details are still emerging about the exact circumstances of the accident, but what is clear is that it was serious enough to send Amy straight to the hospital for immediate medical care. For fans who have followed her journey for years, this news has been incredibly difficult to hear. Amy Roloff has long been known not only as a central figure in the Roloff family, but also as someone who has overcome challenge after challenge with strength and grace. From raising her children while balancing the demands of fame, to handling the emotional difficulties of divorce and rebuilding her life with Chris, Amy has consistently shown resilience. So when news of her hospitalization spread, it struck a deep chord with fans who see her not just as a television personality, but as a symbol of perseverance. Chris Marek, who has been Amy's partner and biggest supporter since their marriage, is also reported to have been shaken up by the accident. While he fortunately did not require extended hospitalization, he has been by Amy's side every step of the way since she was admitted. Witnesses and early reports suggest that Chris remained calm and collected, focused entirely on making sure Amy received the care she needed as quickly as possible. His dedication has once again reminded fans of the strong bond the two share, and why their relationship has become such a cherished part of the Roloff family story. The moment Amy was taken to the hospital, her family and friends rallied around her. Zach and Tori, along with other members of the Roloff family, were quick to offer their support, even as fans anxiously awaited updates. Hospitals confirmed that Amy was conscious when she was admitted, but understandably shaken and in need of medical attention for injuries sustained in the crash. Thankfully, initial updates from close sources suggested that she was stable and receiving excellent care, though it was clear the recovery process would take time. For longtime viewers of Little People, Big World, Amy's hospitalization is particularly emotional. Over the years, fans have watched her navigate the highs and lows of life, and through it all, she's been open about her vulnerabilities and challenges. That honesty has built a unique bond with her audience. Hearing that she's been hurt in such a traumatic way has left many people feeling as though a member of their own family has been harmed. Social media quickly lit up following the news. Thousands of comments poured in with fans expressing shock and offering their prayers. Hashtags like #PrayForAmy and #RoloffStrong began trending as supporters shared memories of Amy's impact on their lives. Many wrote about how she has inspired them through her story, reminding the world that Amy's resilience is one of her defining qualities. Others shared personal stories about how the Roloff family helped them through difficult times, underscoring just how deep the connection between the Roloffs and their fans runs. Chris, for his part, has been described as devastated but grateful that the outcome wasn't worse. Accidents like this serve as a reminder of how fragile life can be and how quickly circumstances can change. His focus has reportedly been on making sure Amy knows she is not alone during this difficult time, and that their love story will continue no matter the challenges. The couple's friends have also shared that Chris has been a source of strength not only for Amy, but also for their wider circle, keeping everyone updated and reassured while managing his own emotions. The road to recovery will no doubt be challenging. Hospital sources indicate that Amy sustained injuries that will require both rest and rehabilitation. While fans anxiously await more detailed updates on her condition, the good news is that she is surrounded by support from Chris, her children, and her extended family. The Roloff family has always demonstrated the importance of unity, and this difficult moment is no exception. Beyond the immediate concern for Amy's health, The accident has sparked reflection among fans about the unpredictability of life. Amy and Chris have often spoken about cherishing every moment, living fully, and embracing love after hardship. This accident has made those words resonate even more deeply, reminding everyone of the importance of family, resilience, and never taking a single day for granted. For Amy's supporters, the hope is that this setback becomes yet another example of her incredible ability to overcome obstacles. She has faced personal and public challenges with honesty and courage, and this accident, while frightening, may ultimately become part of a larger story of strength and recovery. Fans are confident that Amy will once again rise to the occasion, supported by Chris's unwavering love and the encouragement of a global community that has followed her journey for nearly 2 decades. As more updates come in, one thing is certain. The Roloffs remain one of the most inspiring families on television and in the public eye. This accident, though terrifying, has also shown just how deeply people care for Amy and Chris. The outpouring of love has been overwhelming, and it's a testament to the impact they've had on so many lives. So while this chapter may have begun with fear and uncertainty, the story of Amy Roloff has always been about strength, faith, and resilience. The accident serves as a painful reminder of life's unpredictability, but also as a powerful moment for fans to unite in support. Amy is in the hospital, but she's in good hands, with Chris by her side and an entire world of fans sending love and prayers her way. We will continue to hope and pray for her speedy recovery, and we look forward to the day when Amy can once again share her warmth and joy with all of us, stronger than ever. In the meantime, let's send nothing but positive thoughts to Amy, Chris, and the entire Roloff family. Matt Roloff, best known for his role on Little People, Big World, has made headlines once again, but this time it's not about the farm, his family, or the show's latest drama. Instead, it's about his personal life. After years of being together, Matt has officially announced that he and his longtime partner, Karen Chandler, have decided to split. This announcement has left fans shocked, especially since many believed Matt and Karen were headed toward marriage and a long future together. Over the years, viewers have watched their relationship grow on screen. Karen was first introduced as someone who worked at Roloff Farms, and eventually, their bond deepened into a romance after Matt's divorce from Amy Roloff. For many fans, Karen quickly became a familiar face on the show, standing by Matt through ups and downs, and even becoming an important part of the Roloff family dynamics. Now, with news of their separation, a lot of questions are being raised. What happened? Why did they decide to part ways after spending so many years together? And what does this mean for Matt's future, the Roloff family, and the legacy of the farm that's been at the heart of the show for nearly 2 decades? According to Matt, the decision to split was not sudden. In fact, he explained that it was something both he and Karen had been considering for a while. They realized that despite the love and history they shared, their paths were starting to move in different directions. Matt shared that it was not about anger, betrayal, or any explosive drama. It was simply a case of 2 people recognizing that they weren't aligned for the future they each wanted. This perspective is refreshing in some ways, especially in the world of reality television where breakups are often messy and filled with conflict. For Matt and Karen, it seems like the choice was thoughtful, mature, and made out of respect for one another. But that doesn't make it any less surprising for fans. For years, Karen has been right by Matt's side, helping with farm events, appearing in episodes, and even making plans with him about life beyond the farm. At one point, Matt even spoke openly about the possibility of marriage, and many assumed it was only a matter of time before he and Karen tied the knot. Now, with this split, the future looks very different. One big question fans have is whether Karen will continue to be a part of Little People, Big World. Over the years, she has become a regular presence, and her absence would definitely change the dynamic of the show. Matt hasn't said much about that yet, but given how central she's been in recent seasons, her departure could be a big shift. Another question is how this affects the Roloff family as a whole. The Roloffs have always had complicated relationships, especially after Matt and Amy's divorce. Adding Karen into the picture was sometimes tricky, especially since Amy had to adjust to her ex-husband being with someone new. But over time, things seemed to settle down, and Karen appeared to build some level of understanding with Amy and the rest of the family. Now, with Karen stepping away, it might bring new dynamics. Will this make it easier for Matt and Amy to co-parent and collaborate on family events? Or will it add new layers of distance? It's hard to say, but one thing is certain. Change is coming for the Roloffs. For Matt personally, this split marks another big turning point in his life. At 62 years old, Matt has been open about wanting to slow down and think about his future. He's spoken about retirement, his health, and what will happen to Roloff Farms in the coming years. Losing a partner at this stage of life can't be easy, and fans are already expressing their support for him as he figures out what comes next. Karen, on the other hand, hasn't made a big public statement, but those close to her suggest she's also ready for a new chapter. After spending so much of her life connected to the Roloffs and the show, stepping away may give her the freedom to focus on herself. It's also important to look at the broader impact this has on Little People, Big World. The show has thrived on giving viewers a look into the real lives of the Roloffs, the triumphs, the struggles, the farm drama, and the personal relationships. With Matt and Karen's split, it's almost certain this storyline will be covered in future episodes. Fans will want to see how Matt handles the transition, how the family reacts, and whether Karen has any final appearances on the show. The Roloffs have never shied away from sharing their personal lives, and that's one of the reasons the show has lasted for so long. This new development could end up being one of the most emotional storylines in years, reminding viewers that no matter how much time has passed, the Roloffs are still facing real-life challenges that anyone can relate to. Still, it's worth pointing out that while fans might be disappointed by the breakup, it doesn't necessarily mean the end of happiness for either Matt or Karen. Both of them have the chance to move forward in ways that better suit who they are now. For Matt, it could mean focusing more on his family, the farm, or even rediscovering what he wants out of life at this stage. For Karen, it could mean stepping away from the spotlight and enjoying a quieter, more private life. At the end of the day, relationships are complicated, and breakups, even the most respectful ones, can be hard. But what stands out here is the way Matt has framed the decision. He's been clear that there's no animosity, no scandal, and no bitterness. Instead, it's about recognizing when it's time to let go and honoring the years they spent together without forcing something that no longer fits. For fans of Little People, Big World, this might feel like the end of an era. Karen has been such a big part of the story for years, and seeing her and Matt go their separate ways is bound to stir emotions. But as with every major change the Roloffs have faced, divorces, marriages, children, and farm debates, the family has always found a way to adapt and move forward. Whether you've been watching the Roloffs since the very beginning or you're a newer fan, it's clear that this family's story is still unfolding. And while this chapter may be closing for Matt and Karen, another one is just beginning. Fans will be watching closely to see what happens next, on the farm, with the family, and in Matt's personal journey. One thing is for sure, Little People, Big World has never been just about the farm. It's been about real people navigating real challenges, and Matt and Karen's decision to split is another reminder of that. So as Matt steps into this next stage of life without Karen by his side, fans are left with mixed emotions. Sadness for the end of their relationship, curiosity about what comes next, and hope that both Matt and Karen find happiness in their separate paths. Matt Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, has shared surprising news about his personal life. He and Karen Chandler, his longtime partner and fiancée, have decided to split and call off their engagement. Fans who have followed their relationship over the years were shocked, especially since many believed they were heading toward marriage. Matt explained that this decision wasn't sudden or made in anger. He described it as something he and Karen thought about carefully, and in the end, they realized that separating was the right step for both of them. According to him, their lives were beginning to move in different directions, and while they shared many good years together, they knew it was better to let go now rather than force something that no longer worked. This breakup is especially surprising because Matt and Karen had been engaged and even talked about wedding plans. On the show and in interviews, Matt mentioned wanting to spend the rest of his life with Karen, and fans expected a wedding announcement. But instead, they're parting ways respectfully, without bitterness or scandal. Karen has been part of the Roloff family story for a long time. She first worked at Roloff Farms and later became Matt's partner after his divorce from Amy Roloff. Viewers watched as she became not only a big part of Matt's life, but also a regular presence on the show. She attended family events, supported Matt through his health struggles, and even got involved in plans for the future of the farm. Over time, many fans saw her as someone who might help Matt settle into his next chapter. Now, with the engagement called off, fans are wondering what happens next for both of them. Will Karen continue to appear on Little People, Big World? Will she still be part of farm activities? Those questions remain unanswered for now. What Matt has made clear is that the breakup was mutual and peaceful. He still cares for Karen, but both of them agreed that moving forward separately was healthier than staying together when their goals no longer matched. This moment also adds another big change to the Roloff family dynamic. The family has already gone through so many transitions. Matt and Amy divorced after decades of marriage. Amy later remarried Chris Merrick. Their kids have grown up, some of them stepping away from the show, while others are raising families of their own. Roloff Farms has been a point of tension for years, with questions about who will inherit it and whether it should be sold. Through all of this, Karen was often by Matt's side, providing him support and stability. Her stepping away means Matt is facing this next stage of life without the partner many expected would always be there. At 62, Matt has spoken openly about slowing down. He has dealt with health issues, talked about retirement, and considered what the future holds for him. Losing a relationship at this point is not easy, but he has shown resilience in the past. After his divorce from Amy, he rebuilt his life and found love again with Karen. Now he may focus more on himself, his family, and his vision for the farm. For Karen, this may also be a chance to create a fresh chapter. Being connected to the Roloffs and appearing on television has kept her in the public eye for years. Some believe she may step back from that spotlight to focus on her own goals and enjoy a more private life. Fans of Little People, Big World are already reacting with a mix of sadness and support. Many feel disappointed that the engagement won't lead to marriage, but others are respecting the honesty and maturity of Matt and Karen's decision. Relationships don't always last forever, and sometimes the strongest choice is to recognize when it's time to part ways. The show itself will almost certainly address this development. The Roloffs have always shared their personal lives openly, from divorces to weddings, from children being born to family conflicts. Matt and Karen's split will likely be one of the most emotional storylines, giving viewers a deeper look into how they reached this decision and how the family adjusts. It's worth remembering that while this feels like the end of an era, it doesn't have to be the end of happiness for either of them. Breakups can be painful, but they can also be freeing. Matt may find new purpose, whether that's spending more time with his children and grandchildren, focusing on his health, or even finding love again. Karen may find peace in creating her own path away from the constant attention that comes with being tied to the Roloff name. For viewers, this news is another reminder that reality television, at its best, reflects real lives. Little People, Big World has lasted for almost 20 years because it shows authentic struggles, marriages, divorces, parenting challenges, business disputes, and now, the ending of an engagement. These moments connect with fans who see their own lives reflected in the ups and downs of the Roloff family. Matt has emphasized that the split is not about drama. There was no betrayal or anger, just two people recognizing they weren't meant to keep going down the same path. That honesty may actually be one of the most valuable lessons to come out of this story. Sometimes letting go is harder than holding on, but it can also be healthier. For the Roloff children, this may also shift dynamics. They've had to adapt to changes in their parents' relationships before, and they'll likely continue to support both Matt and Karen in this transition. Family gatherings, holidays, and events may look different without Karen in the picture, but the Roloffs have always found a way to move forward, even through conflict. This decision also raises questions about the farm's future. With Karen no longer by Matt's side, will he rethink his plans for Roloff Farms? Will he involve his children more, or consider new possibilities? The farm has always been at the center of both family unity and family conflict, so whatever happens next will be closely watched by fans. For now, Matt seems focused on staying positive. By calling the split the right step for both of them, he's sending a message of acceptance and growth. He isn't framing it as a loss, but as a choice that allows each of them to move toward a future that makes sense individually. Karen has not shared as much publicly, But people close to her say she's ready for her own next chapter. After years of being tied to the Roloffs, she may find it refreshing to make decisions without the constant attention of cameras and fans. It's always difficult when a long relationship comes to an end, but what stands out in this situation is the respect between them. They built memories, supported each other through important years, and now they're giving each other the freedom to move on. That's not easy, but it's meaningful. As fans continue to process this news, they'll be watching to see how Matt handles life after Karen. Will he dive deeper into his work on the farm? Will he take more time for himself? And will this experience change the way he sees his future? No matter what happens next, this moment is a turning point. It shows that even after years together, and even after an engagement, sometimes the bravest choice is to admit that things have changed. Matt Roloff and Karen Chandler may no longer be a couple, but the impact they had on each other's lives will always remain. And for viewers, this story is another reminder that life keeps moving forward. Relationships evolve, people grow, and sometimes, saying goodbye is the only way to make room for what comes next. If you're as moved by this news as we are, please take a moment to like this video, share it with others who care about Amy, and drop your kind words and prayers in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Amy Roloff, Chris Marek, and the stories that matter most to fans around the world. Thanks for watching, and let's keep Amy in our hearts as she recovers from this scary accident.